Hi, welcome back to a completely different video. Today, I am not gonna talk about some fucked up shit on YouTube. I'm gonna talk about some fucked up shit in real life, but I'm not gonna actually watch the fucked up shit this time, because otherwise, I'd go insane. So I decided to go somewhere else. Today, I have gone to a local forest. It's not that local, it's actually quite a drive. But it's a bit special because in this forest, we can track wild boar and European bison, which is a bit of that's a good story. The bison is a really good story, but the boar is a different story. But first of all, something weird, because the boar in this country, I'm in Denmark, is not loved. So this forest where they live on, normal terms, well, you have to cross this. And there's a giant fence. I mean, there's the fence, covers the entire forest, and it's just, going all the way around. The reason for this is quite simple. My country hates boars. They love pigs, they hate the boar. There's 3 times as many pigs as there are people in this country. And that means, the boar is a fair game, apparently. In a nutshell, we produce a lot of pigs, and here, that means a lot of money. The boars carry a bunch of disease that, the pigs don't, and they don't want it to transfer. So they'll go to pretty insane lengths to cover these, to prevent basically the disease from getting here. Particularly, it's the African swine fever. That's the bad one. They don't want that. So they've built a 70-kilometer fence along the entire border. So yeah, we basically got the border wall to make sure they don't get in. The problem is that basically cuts different animal populations in two, all the problems there is with the border wall, and it also provides a barrier that animals can run into, and we have several examples already. The barrier is brand new, where deer has gotten caught and killed because of this barrier, and it's really sad. But instead of thinking about this sad thing, we're gonna see if we can find some. So we're gonna walk in this forest. This might take a few hours. I might run out of battery, but you never know. And we might also see some European bison. We'll talk about it later in the video, because that's an actually really great story. European bison was hunted till extinction. So in the wild, and the last one was killed in Poland in 1927, and there were 50 left, and they've all been they were in the zoos, so they started a breeding program, and now there are thousands of them. That's pretty great, and some of them live in this woods, so we're gonna find them. Oh, and just a little heads up, tracking is going to be really difficult here, because this forest has some rules. Rule number 1, you're not allowed to leave the path. That's fine that you can't leave the path, because boars and bison can be actually quite dangerous. So you don't want to leave the path and get too close. We're here on their premise, and that's okay. But it means tracking will be somewhat hard, because, well, there's some nice snow, but I can't really go in there and track it through it. All I can go is this, which is compact and, well, basically solid from some cars and shit. So I'm not really going to get through here anytime soon. So we're basically gonna rely on sight and a lot of walking. I found the first track. Now I'm just off the path. I mean, the path is right there. This is literally part of the path. But we found the first track. Right here. This is from, pretty sure the bison was too high for the boars. So it's either been rubbing or it's basically been eating it. This looks like eating the bark. So they are here. There's some more over there. So, you know, they are around here. That took only like what? So that took maybe what? A couple hundred meters? I mean, the gate is right down there. It's right over there. So that didn't take too long to find some tracks. Actually, there's a lot more over here. See, that tree there, you can see it's been rubbing against that tree. Like that one right there. And if we just go over here, look at that tree. Wow, slippery. There. They've been eating the bark off that. And there's even more. And there's a lot here. Basically all the tree has some damage. So they are here. They're definitely here. Now we're just gonna find a big brown spot, basically. Walk maybe, what, another 200 meters? And we got another set of tracks. The problem is, again, I can't leave the path, so I can't follow the tracks. But this time we found tracks from the boar. See, right here, you got tracks from it leading up and this way. And he's gone that way, along that. And, well, I can't go that way. I am confined here. There's a path over there that goes across, but it's overrun with people, so I'm not assuming that a lot of animals is gonna be near it. So instead we're going this way. As you can see, there's nobody. So I'm hoping that gives us a better chance, but it's really hard to tell. But yeah, so what, 20 minutes in? Less, probably 15. We found tracks from both species we're looking for today. Question is just, are we gonna find them? And since the snow is no more than, what, 2 weeks old? So it's been here relatively recently. Last snowfall was, what, less than a week ago. So these tracks can't be very old. The problem is, you know, as you might be able to tell here, they get lost in a lot of dog tracks. It makes it a little bit more difficult here at the edge, but we'll find them. So guys, we just came from right around there, and we saw one track leading that way, and now we've got more tracks here. It's at least 4 or 5. Some are almost gone, and some are fresher. That one is probably maybe what, a day old. Well, that one there is at least 2 to 3 days old. So this is a path they tend to pick. They tend to go through here, and they tend to go that way. But again, I can't go that way, so we're gonna have to go around, see if we can find them. We walked a bit further and more tracks. Tracks all over the place. And again, I can't leave the path. But look at all these tracks. And these are fresh. I mean, all of them. There's a lot of boar in here. See, they went that way into there. They're going that way into there. These can't be that old. I mean, this looks pretty fresh. You still got the edge and everything on them. Right here. That's pretty fresh. So potentially they're right over here. been about an hour. I have a slight problem now, because on one side we have this. A lot of tracks leads into that, even fresh ones, but I can't see anything in there. It could be in there, but it's difficult to choose. On the other side of the path we have a bit of a problem now, because, well, this is what we're looking at on that side, and it's very dense. It could be like 10 meters in there and I wouldn't have a clue. We found a small path leading into the undergrowth here, so maybe, just maybe, it's a bit slippery, we might find something in here. I highly doubt it though, because they'd have to be really close. There's some benches. I see they could easily hide in here. This grass is basically the same height as them. So we found some new tracks. Look right here. Leaning this way. This, considering where I am, I'm willing to say it's probably an egret. There's also some other tracks, like here we have something that's been dragging a tail of some kind. And over here we got like rodent tracks. It's definitely small enough to be a rodent. Some kind of mouse, probably. You got some nice ones right I did. And here we got some really nice ones. Just chucking along. Yeah, that's also part of it, you know. We're in the wood. There should be plenty of tracks. And there is. The healthier the forest, the more tracks you're gonna find in the snow. Just to prove my point that this area is really, really good for them, and where they're probably hiding. Here you have a path. You got tracks leading across this path I'm walking on. Going further in there. You only have to go a little bit further, like a few meters. And you got another path. You can even see it through. And it'll also go that way. And through in here. And you just go another, what, 4 meters? 5 meters? And then you got another one here. Going through and in. And also into the other side. So yeah, they're definitely using this brush and shrubbery to hide in. The question is just, are they still in there? We walked a lot more. And we found a lot more tracks. We found more bison tracks. So we are getting closer, I think. Actually, we're not. We're just finding all the tracks from the last week. But here we have some bison tracks. We got a really decent one here. And we walked this way, across, and here we got some nice big tracks. You actually got here, here, here. So a bison walked that way. Since I apparently still haven't found anything, I figured we could talk a little bit instead about European bison. They do exist. They were hunted quite profusely before, and basically hunted to extinction. There were, well, in 1927 the last wild European bison was killed by a hunter in Poland, and there were 50 left in zoos across the world. It was then decided to start a breeding program, which then, well, ran even through World War II. And in the 60s they well, it was 50s. I think they released some in Poland, and in the 60s that population was above 1,000. Today there are European bison roaming in forests in Denmark, Poland, Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, Bulgaria, I think, Romania, and further east. I think there are actually also some in France. But it's not a perfect success story, because on one side, yes, it proves the necessity. On one side, it proves the necessity of zoos, but on another side, it also proves the terrible attitude of humans, because these are big, beautiful animals, and people tend to be afraid of something that's big. So most of these populations are fenced in, like this one. There's a fence running all around, which basically limits the use of the forest, because animals can't roam between this forest and other forests, because, well, big animals tend to be problematic. If you hit something this big with your car, you're gonna die. And that's the fear, and it's just a stupid fear, because there's not that many of them. And a very good example of it can be made in 2017 in Germany. One bison was seen crossing the border from Poland, where they range, where they can go anywhere they want to. It crossed the border into Germany. They immediately decided that that animal should not be there, and it was shot. They killed it. It was one bison. What harm could it have done? That's all they did. We're still watching that this incredibly beautiful animal is, on one side protected, and on the other, if it goes outside of the fence, we apparently just kill it. It's a bit sad, because Europe doesn't have a lot of its large wildlife left anymore. Most of it was killed in the 1800s and 20th century too. It's just sad, really. Like here, not that long ago, before the fence went up, wolves migrated into Denmark, and ever since there's one side fighting to protect it, and another side fighting to be allowed to kill them all, because they're afraid of it. Of course, the side that claims they want to kill them says that the only one who wants to protect them are the ones who doesn't live near them. It's not completely true, but things tend to go black and white. It's the same story here with the bison, really. Everybody wants to see it, and everybody likes the idea of it. But the second it actually gets loose, and it gets to do what it's supposed to do, and just live out its life in nature, manage the woods, people kill it, because we're no longer in control. It's kind of sad, really. We don't always need to be in control. Things tend to go well when we're not in control. We found some more evidence of, wildlife. See here, the bark has been peeled off, like entire length, because this wood is flying down this tree trunk. You can kind of see the teeth marks, how it's been. You can kind of see the teeth mark here, how they've been working down in these rows, eating the bark. It's a pretty common tactic for hoofed animals to eat like that in the winter, because there's not much else to eat, so they eat the bark. Yeah, that's about the biggest wildlife we've found so far. This little bird. camera's shaking a lot. I'm sorry about that, but I had to change the lens. Can you guys hear that? I've never heard a bird make that noise. Sitting right there. I have never heard a great tit, yes, that's his name, now laugh it off, sound like that. It sounded like a car alarm. Any of you guys have an explanation? Please enlighten me. It's been over 2 hours. We're seeing more and more tracks. In this part of the woods, we're seeing a lot of bison tracks, especially gnawed off bark. There's just a lot of that. But we still haven't found the animals. But so why is it that, you know, if we don't like these animals, oh, there's a really big bird up there that's already behind the trees, but might have been an eagle? There's a lot of eagles around here, so it could be. We're gonna go over there, see if we can find it. It's flying behind the tree line. Don't think I'm gonna find that. No, but why, if, you know, the country hates wild boar and bison should only be within fenced off areas, why do we have them? Why do we put them in these forests? Why do we fence off these large forests? Well, because there's also a desire to something called rewilding. Basically, you want, well, a lot of people want us to leave areas to be more wild, more maintained by nature itself. And for that, we need a good ecosystem. And to maintain that, you need a lot of different animals, such as bison, to maintain the woods. And there's this sound. But also wild boar to mess around the bottom layers and such. Because it's been shown that woods that contain these large mammals do better. There are more flowers, more different plants, more insects, and if we leave the trees on their own, let's let them to fall over, then there's even more insects. And that's basically why they do it. And there's also a level of tourism. There's one forest alone that gets 100,000 visitors now. Didn't do that before they added the bison, so there's also that. But it's definitely, you know, it's just to prove that the large species are really important to maintain places like this without us fucking it up. We finally found a track we can actually follow. It's mainly because they've been walking along the path probably earlier today. The tracks are above footprints from humans, so, and there's a few where they aren't, so, you know, people have been walking afterwards. But we're kind of following it now. See, they're right here. See, we got one here. We got more over here. They've been walking in this direction here, and well, we're just gonna see how long we can follow them. Figure out if we can follow them. We probably can't, but you know, we have to try. We followed the track for what, 200-300 meters?
Yeah, probably.
And then it ends on, well, this. And this is just completely solid, and we have no idea where they went. I saw one track went up across from one side to the other, and well, again, I can't go there, so we basically lost track of them again. So we're back out at the road. It's been just short of 4 hours in the woods, and yeah, it's a bit noisy now. Didn't find the bison, didn't find the wild boar, did find some birds, and probably thousands of tracks and evidence of them, but that's, well, wildlife. Sometimes you find them, sometimes you don't, often you don't. That's just a part of it. Now I just have another reason to spend 4 hours in that particular forest.